Welcome to this overview of how easy it is to get started setting up a Kickstarter project. We're going to go ahead and start from Kickstarter.com. On the website in the upper left-hand corner, we see the Start button. That's all it takes to get you moving forward to launching your own Kickstarter project. And you know what? And there's no harm in doing it. So let's go ahead and get started and show you how easy it is. Once you click the Start button, it brings you up to a page and reminds you that there's a series of categories that each project is created under. At this time, you might not be sure which category fits your particular project because it still might be in your head. Don't worry. We can come back and assign the category later. Right now, we're just simply going to move forward with the basic steps of setting up the rudimentary framework of what it takes to launch a Kickstarter. So go ahead and click that big green button that says Start Project. Once we click on the Start Project, up comes our ability to name and identify our project. Let's go ahead and pick a category. All the categories come up, and we're going to pick the dance category. So let's go ahead and click on dance, and we're going to create a dance party. So let's just go ahead and identify our project called Dance Party. Serious, you can create dance parties and fund them through Kickstarter. The reason is because Kickstarter has a couple of rules. These are rules that are necessary for creating your project. If we go over them, some of them are fairly basic. You have to create something that's easily shared with others. What this means is a dance party can be shared with others, but you can't raise money to run your business, an ongoing maintenance or cost of those type of nature. But you can create things that can be shared, like a book or a film or a song or something that's not quite as tangible, like a dance party. It has to be open, honest, and clear what your project is. And you can't raise money for charities. Now this is interesting because charities can actually use Kickstarter to raise money for projects, but they can't use Kickstarter to raise money for the charity. There are also some things you can't do on Kickstarter, and rather than go into the details of that now, go back, click on it, and you'll see things like weapons, pharmaceuticals, and other things are highly regulated, can't be used on Kickstarter to raise money. Let's back up and go ahead and move forward. Okay, we got a project, it's dance, we're going to launch a dance party, click Start. So far, so good. Now what comes up is an overview, step-by-step, of how to create your very first project. Counterintuitively, though, I'm going to recommend that we start at the end rather than starting at the beginning. At the end, under this account, if we click on that, there's some information that needs to be used to verify who you are. In my case, it already knows who I am, but you need to go through and identify through email, phone, other verification processes, as well as banking, setting up whether you're raising funds as an individual or a corporation. All of these things need to be done for your very first project. Now what's nice is for ongoing projects, as you have other projects after that first one, you don't have to redo this. So I always recommend that you come and do this first because it takes time. Once you've done this, you go to the About You. This is fairly static. You know who you are. This is where you upload your image, a short description of who you are, your name, and then whether or not you want to connect your Facebook's link, location, other websites. All of this information can be changed later except for that one called name. Once you've launched a project, you can never go back and change your name. So make sure you know what your name is and spell it correctly. Our story, this is where we start uploading our video, we upload our project description. All of these things are created on an ongoing basis and can be very fluid. There's no ever a time where you're limited or locked in to what can be changed in this area. Rewards. Your rewards are where you start to decide what you're going to give away for what money people give you. Now we come into the basics. The basics are where you upload the project image, the project title, and a short blurb. You'll notice that the project title was already filled in because that's what I had typed in when I first started. But there's all kinds of information in here. One of them being your funding duration. Kickstarter gives you a certain amount of time. You can set that time between 1 to 60 days. In another video, we'll explain how much time you should set and why, the thought process behind that time. But for now, here's where you set it up and you decide if it's going to run a certain number of days or do I want it to end on a certain date and time. And then decide how much money you want to raise. You get to pick all of this, and Kickstarter will put this in and lock it in for you. Once you put these in and launch, those are locked in and can't be changed. But you are a long ways from that, so there's nothing for us to worry about at this point. All right, we've covered the basics, the rewards, the account, all of the information that you need to get you started. Hopefully we provided you something informative here. Looking forward to you joining us on our next episode.